Tonight on Wednesday Night Dynamite Live, we get all the fallout from All Out in Chicago, which, at least on social media and the IWC, is being regarded as one of the most violent pay-per-views of recent memory, probably of all time when it comes to modern and actual top pro wrestling companies in the business. But one of the main stories coming out of Chicago, Illinois this past weekend was the shocking, in some sorts, betrayal of the BCC to brand new AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson defeated current TNT champion, the scapegoat himself, Jack Perry, to retain his title at All Out. And much like at All In Wembley, when Bryan won the world title and got to keep his career going, the BCC came out to celebrate and actually stand by his side, fend off Christian Cage, fend off Luchasaurus, and then we got what we got. Got Jon Moxley turning his back, actually was first Castagnoli attacking Danielson, if I'm not mistaken, and then Moxley went ahead and beat the living pulp out of the current AEW World Champion. And hindsight is 2020. I'm not going to say that this was predictable because I didn't think about this happening. I didn't think this was going to happen until later down the line. They were going to build up to it. They were going to tease us with it. I didn't think they were going to happen like that. But it did. In normal AEW fashion, they tend to fast track certain things. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like the dynamic where Wheeler Yuta wasn't in on this whole beatdown. Had to be restrained by Pac over in the corner. I like that dynamic. But overall, again, a very predictable outcome, which I wish they would have at least teased this a lot more in the next few weeks, in the next few months. And then we get the breakup. Then we get the betrayal. But hey, it is what it is. I've mentioned here multiple times, Bryan Danielson's only saving grace from being AEW World Champion is that he at one point will end up dropping that championship to the Billy Goat himself, Will Ospreay. I firmly believe that, even more now after all the fallout from All In, where the American Dragon said that the next time he loses the AEW World Championship, his career is over. Much like I predicted. So again, I don't think Jon Moxley has any chance, any opportunity in beating Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. I don't think that benefits anyone in AEW. I don't think anyone wants to see Moxley as AEW World Champion, as popular as he is, as good of a wrestler as he is. He doesn't need the world title. He doesn't need to end Bryan Danielson's career. Does it add to the stakes in this feud? Does it add to the drama in this upcoming rivalry? Absolutely it does. Of course. But overall, Bryan Danielson must prevail. He must retain his world championship, and then Revolution, Double or Nothing, he drops the title to Will Ospreay. Because right now, Will Ospreay's story is he needs to keep getting better. He needs to keep growing. And then at some point, he will do what he couldn't do against Swerve, which is become AEW World Champion. I think that's the story AEW is trying to tell. But for right now, Moxley, Bryan Danielson, have at it. I'm not against that idea. I'm not against that rivalry. I think it's a very good transitional rivalry. Again, I do not believe for a second that Jon Moxley is going to beat Bryan Danielson for the AEW World title. But all the drama that's going to ensue because of their betrayal at All Out, that's going to be good TV in my book. Now, with that said, going back to the All Out being the most violent pay-per-view of the year, did they do stuff that I didn't necessarily want to watch? Yes. Especially that plastic bag on the current world champion. And I get it. Pro wrestling fans love that shit. I get it. They want more realism. I mean, it's play fighting. It's stories, characters. You see it on the movies too. My basic theory is that if you have to go to all those extents to make people believe that these two hate each other, you're doing something wrong. This is entertainment. This is not UFC. This is not MMA. You don't need to make it real. Most wrestling fans, excluding children, of course, know this is staged. They know this is fake. They know this is pre-scripted. And then we've got a lot of grown men out there who want to believe that this is actually real. And unfortunately, that hurts AEW's business. Because in the current world we live in, the current PC, politically correct world we live in, all this violence, all this blood is something that advertisers and marketing teams do not want to be associated with, which prevents AEW from doing good business. Simple. As simple as that. CM Punk said it in the past himself. They don't run AEW like a business. It's clear. It's very clear. That's all I gotta say. Again, that's all I gotta say. For now, what are your thoughts on Jon Moxley and the rest of the BCC, excluding Wheeler Yuta, turning on the current AEW World Champion? Do you think it was a good idea? Do you think maybe they should have held off on that just a little bit and teased it a little bit more? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. And again, leave your thoughts on All Out overall in terms of violence. And we'll talk about that fantastic steel cage match between Adam Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland in a later video. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.